All right, so today we are going to work on our heart center through our arms and our fingers. Arm strength is really important, and so is holding up your rib cage away from your hips in dance to make it look good. You don't want to be closed over, you don't want to have weak arms. It doesn't make for a very good dance. And it's healthy for especially women to work on their arm strength, especially as we get older, so that we can still wash our gorgeous hair by the time we're 80. So, to begin with, we're going to just warm up our shoulders. I do suggest you do your own warm up before we start this, but just to create a little bit of heat in our shoulders, we're just rolling them back. And you can keep your hands at belt level or at hip level, wherever you like. You can even hold them out here. And we're just rolling back with our shoulders. And when you start to feel a little bit of heat, that's a good thing because we're warming up. We're going to go ahead and let the arms just kind of flow with the movement. It's sort of like a double snake arm. Continuing with this, making sure when you do this exercise that your hands are not too far forward, so that if you're looking at it from the side, your hands shouldn't be here, they should be here. So we're rolling and just sort of flapping our arms like a bird. That's what this reminds me of. All right, so we got mostly all of our joints in our arms from our shoulders to our fingers should be nice and warm by now. We're gonna work on our wrists. So something we ignore a lot is our wrists, and they're really important in helping you maintain arm strength. So we're going to do what I like to call taffy pull. So the right hand is going to be pushing down, led by the wrist. The left hand is going to be pulling up, again, led by the wrist. So we're gonna pull. Right hand goes to the hip, left hand goes over the head. We're gonna come around, sort of making an S, and then we're gonna switch our wrists, cross at the heart center, and come around again. And repeat. And it's really important to really push with the wrists on this. Crossing at the heart center, making sure you have good tall posture. If you're sunk in, it's gonna look weird and it's not gonna do you the greatest amount of good physically. So if you like, you can actually do all these exercises even sitting down because we're just working on our arms today. But if you'd like to make it more of a dance, then this is a really fun thing to just let the rest of you flow with because it looks very pretty and it's fun. So right now I'm just shifting my weight and pulling all that lovely taffy. And this is completely a rhythmic movement. You don't have to do this to any sort of music, but you can do it to your favorite song if you like. And you'll notice, of course, that doing this to different speeds gives a completely different mood to the movement. All right, let's bring it back here, and let's just go up and down now. Again, we're leading with the wrists. So straight up and down, that spine maintaining really good posture. Continuing with this, good posture for dance. Pretend that there is a string attached to your bra strap and it's coming right through your body and pulling up through your heart center. If your wrists get tired, just sort of flap them out and go again. All right, so bringing the hands to heart center, making sure that your shoulders are rolled back and down, nice and relaxed. If you're not sure where to place them or how to roll back and down, just press your shoulder blades down your spine and a little bit together. So mostly pressing those shoulder blades down. So we're gonna do 2 mudras here. The first one is we're taking our first 2 fingers and our thumb, putting them together, and our pinky and our ring fingers are splayed upwards. And we're at our heart center, about 2 inches from our body, making sure that our elbows are nice and horizontal with the ground. Doing this is not gonna work. You have to have your elbows out. So one at a time, we're going to take our hand, pressing out with the wrist, and our hands open up to this lotus pose. We started here, and we open up to here. So the pinky is up against the palm, the thumb is up against the side of the hand. And again, the movement is led by the wrist. So out and in, out and in, 1 and go ahead and let your gaze follow your hands. Not only can you use this in dance, this is a really nice Indian classical dance format, but it looks very pretty and it is excellent exercise for those arms. So we're going to do the same movements, only we're going to change the direction in which we put our arms out for the lotus. So we're coming up about 45 degrees. And again, let your gaze follow your hands. In Indian classical dance, I was told that this particular movement, the eyes are very important because you're calling up to the sky and sort of flirting with it and bringing down what you want. So go ahead and give your ceiling that flirty little eye there. And now, again, we're going to do the same movements, only down 45 degrees. Making sure those elbows stay horizontal with the floor when you come back up. You might notice your wrists starting to get tired. That's a good thing. This is a healthy movement for your wrist. It should not cause injury. If it starts to hurt, obviously stop. We don't want injury. But if you feel that heat in your wrists, maybe in the sides of your hands, definitely you should be feeling it maybe in your shoulders, in your upper arms. That's a good thing. So now we're going to alternate directions. Up, side, down, down, side, up, up, side, down, down, side, up. Again, up, side, down, down, side, up. All right, cool. So staying with the arms, we're going to practice our snake arms now. So again, a snake arm is led from the shoulder to the elbow, to the wrist, to the fingers. Oftentimes I see people try to lead with the finger. I mean, that's a thing. This is a reverse snake arm, but it's not a snake arm. So starting with the shoulder lifts, rolls back. The elbow lifts, and it kind of rolls back also in order for the wrist and the fingers to come up. And make sure the movement comes all the way through the fingers and let that hand float down. On the other side, and float down. There are a few different ways I have heard this described. I was always taught to pretend there is a beach ball under your arm that's filling up very, very slowly. It's It's a huge beach ball, and then you can just let your arm drop. I have been told that this looks like a very fancy goodbye to somebody over there. You can also pretend that you're painting the wall and you're just too lazy to turn your body. Or you're grabbing onto something heavy like a can of paint. You're picking it up and putting it on the shelf and letting your hand come down. Whichever way you like to think of it is fine, that works. Make sure, again, when you're doing this, that you are not coming forward. You should be coming to the side. So as you're doing this exercise, if you see your hand in your peripheral vision, you're probably too forward. Draw it back. And keeping a nice lift in the chest, rib cage open, is going to help that quite a bit. Shoulders rolled back and down. And now we're going to do both arms at the same time. So rather than one and one, we're going to come up, and as this one floats down, the other one is coming up. Making sure when you do this, please, that you make this a very muscular movement. Engage all those arm muscles right through the fingers. Because if I'm doing this and I'm just relaxed and allowing my skeleton do the work, it's actually much harder on the shoulders. It makes my shoulders very, very tired, and it doesn't look very good. So make sure it's very muscular. Go ahead and engage all those muscles. Even your posture counts with this. So tucking in, not tucking this way, but engaging those tummy muscles, lifting that rib cage out of the hips, shoulders rolled back and down. And your snake arm for this can be as big or as little as you want. If you're really tired, a big snake arm might be better. If you're really looking for a challenge, a nice little snake arm. And if you feel like you want to just sway with this, go right ahead. You can really get very dramatic and do a big snake arm. And the bigger you get, you can actually turn this into a sidewinder if you get your hips involved. But if you don't want to today, that's not a problem, because we're just doing snake arms. And continue with those snake arms. Let's bring them up. This is more of an ATS arm undulation, because now I have brought my arms slightly in front of me, and they're about 45 degrees. So in ATS, they don't call it snake arms, they call arm undulations, and it's a little bit different from your traditional belly dance snake arm. Going back, and let's come down to the side. Snake arms down here can look very cool and snaky in a slower choreography. And it kind of reminds me of swimming in the water or something very mermaid-like. So continue your snake arms. If you get tired, go ahead and grab your shoulders and give yourself a hug, switch, and do it again. Shake your hands out and just keep on going. So here are our snake arms. We're going to try doing a double snake arm, which means both arms are going to come out. So both shoulders come out. Very much like what we did earlier when we were rolling our shoulders back. A little more attention by the elbows, the wrists, and the fingers. So the shoulders are still rolling back and down, but this time a little more attention to the rest of your arms. And now we're going to do a reverse snake arm on both. So leading with the fingers, fingers dive down and up, down and up. This one is actually a little more difficult. Usually in belly dance, that's just used as more of an accent. You're probably feeling that heat in your arms just like I am. That's a good thing. So this is generally used as an accent, not usually like your snake arm would be. So this could happen for quite a long time in a choreography, whereas the double reverse snake arm, not so much. But the reverse snake arm is worth practicing because, especially in a lot of modern fusion, you do that whole flow through the hands, through the body, and you have to be able to reverse snake arm for that. And you will notice one arm is stronger than the other. One arm might look better than the other. That's okay. It's just because you're either a righty or a lefty, and it's just naturally one is stronger. So just keep on practicing, and it'll get easier as you go. So that's our snake arms for today. Practice on your own, and I will see you soon. Bye.